As I sit here, uh, first of all, hello everyone. This is Brother Teacher. As I sit here, I'm in a somber mood after hearing the recent news of rapper, entertainer, movie star, black man, human being, DMX, having a heart attack, to have alleged been the result of an overdose of drugs of some sort, uh, being in critical condition in the hospital in Atlanta. No, excuse me, not Atlanta, but New York. Um, his fans have been who rallying around him in support. Along with his family, his children, uh, his fellow rap stars. This video is a bit difficult for me to do because I can relate to rapper, superstar, DMX, because he's a human being. Now, learned a long time ago, and as I began this a moment ago, I was going to say something. I was going to say to myself that I wasn't going to air this video because of my emotional state, and the reason it is where it is because I learned something a long time ago when I first saw DMX's career to some extent and the struggles that he went through, the demons that he had been warring with throughout his life, both personal and entertainment, dealing with drug addiction and so forth. And unfortunately, this may have been the reason behind his current state. Never knew the man personally, but I knew of him. You know, sometimes the Almighty puts people on this earth for a purpose, and it's for all of us to learn a very valuable lesson. And sometimes we don't get the lesson, but it would be to our benefit if we paid attention. DMX was one of those men, one of those angels. You see, angels are not storybook. They're not the ones that you see in the fables. Oftentimes, angels are walking amongst us, and we just don't recognize them for who they are. I believe that DMX is one of those. The question at the end of the day is that did you get the lesson from his life? Did you get the message? Did you get the lesson and the message that he left with all of us to remember him by? Ladies and gentlemen, we are leaving here. Life is precious, and it's not promised to any of us here today and gone tomorrow. In the book of Job, it says, man that is born of a woman is a few days and full of trouble. Our lives are temporary, but we need to find out what our purpose is before we all meet our maker when it's all said and done. You see, I've lost people close to me in my life. And as of me doing this video just now, I've been searching the news and reading the articles and trying to find out what the status was of DMX, because yesterday I read and heard that they were waiting to make a decision when to pull the life support so that he could go home completely. And my stepdad's brother, son, passed away this past week. And just this morning on my way to work, one of my neighbors, I got news that her mother just passed last night. I had not gotten an opportunity yet to, or taken the time to give her my condolences, because it's still pretty fresh, and from what I can gather, she's having a hard time. This is not a video intended just for me to be ranting on. Instead, this is a video that I just wanted to express my feelings about just how important we all are. Despite and regardless of your feelings about your neighbor, even people that you don't know that well, we all have a purpose here on earth. And it behooves each and every one of us to live each day circumspectly, as if today were our last day here. What are you leaving behind, ladies and gentlemen? When you leave here, what are you leaving behind? And there was a saying that I learned many years ago, and I still use it today. What a man does for himself, he takes with him when he passes. And what he does for others, he leaves behind. I believe DMX was one of those men. He has left some very valuable lessons to all of us. And again, I ask you, are you paying attention? And have you paid attention? I don't think that I'm the most special person in the world, but I will say this. When it is my last day and my last hour on planet Earth, I want to make sure while I'm here now that I live a life in such a way that I have benefited not only my family but others, my fellow man, and that I have given some form of value. That's how I feel. And this is how I have always been. Ladies and gentlemen, just love one another. If you have any aught with your brother, sister, if you have any disagreements, crush that stuff now. Who wants to deal with the guilt? Who? So if you haven't talked to your loved one in months and years because of disagreements, family bickering, and even friends, whomever, you just ought to patch it up right now while today is yet here. I love DMX and people like him that has left a legacy for all of us to enjoy once they're gone. They say that there was no brain activity as of yesterday, and that he was in a comatose state life support. It's just a matter of whenever they decide to pull him from life support. And as I'm speaking right now, that hasn't been done. But pray for Earl Simmons, who we know as DMX, the rapper, and make sure that you glean the messages in his music that he has left for all of us to relish in our future generations. That was all I had to say, ladies and gentlemen. DMX does still live in here with me because the short tenure here on this planet at age 50, I've learned something from him, and I'm going to take it with me wherever I go. Yahweh loves you. Brother Teacher loves you. Take care. Be blessed, you and yours. And I'll see you in the next video. Be kind and loving to one another with no excuses. Just do it. So long.